God says, "In the days after Adam, men multiplied upon the earth. Their hearts grew dark, and their thoughts turned toward evil. Violence filled the land. The sons of men forgot the voice that made them. They loved the world more than the truth. They built kingdoms without righteousness. They celebrated sin as wisdom. But my spirit will not strive with man forever." God says, "I looked upon the earth, and behold, corruption was everywhere. Every imagination of the heart was wicked from youth. I grieved that I had made man upon the earth. Yet in the midst of the darkness I saw one, righteous before me. His name was Noah. God says, Noah walked with me. When the world mocked, he still listened. When men laughed, he still obeyed. I said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me. The earth is filled with violence. Make for yourself an ark of gopher wood. God says, I gave him the pattern. 3 decks, 1 door, 1 window, coated with pitch within and without. A refuge for life, a covenant of mercy. God says, for I will bring waters upon the earth, 40 days and 40 nights of rain. Everything that breathes shall perish. But you, Noah, I will establish my covenant with you. God says, Noah obeyed all that I commanded. He built when others mocked. He trusted when others doubted. And I brought to him the beasts of the field and the birds of the air. 2 by 2 they entered the ark. And when the appointed time came, I myself shut the door. God says, then the fountains of the deep were broken. The heavens opened their gates. Waters rose upon the mountains. The cries of men filled the air, but mercy had already spoken. The flood covered every hill under the sky. Only Noah and those with him remained alive. God says, for 40 days the waters prevailed. For 150 days they ruled the earth. Then I remembered my servant Noah. I caused a wind to pass over the waters. The fountains of the deep were stopped. The rain from heaven was restrained. And the ark rested upon the mountains of Ararat. God says, Noah sent out a raven. It went to and fro upon the waters. He sent forth a dove. It found no rest and returned. After 7 days he sent it again, and it brought back a leaf, fresh and green. Then Noah knew the waters had receded. God says, Noah came out from the ark. He built an altar unto me and offered sacrifice. The aroma rose, and I said in my heart, never again will I curse the ground for man's sake. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. God says, I set my rainbow in the clouds as a sign of my covenant. When the bow appears, I will remember my promise. Never again will the waters destroy all life. God says, judgment came, but mercy remained. Sin fell, but grace endured. For every storm I prepare an ark. For every curse I write redemption. For every fall I plant a promise. God says, this is my covenant of mercy, and my word shall not fail. God says, after the flood, the sons of Noah spread across the land. They spoke one language. They dreamed one dream, a world without me. Their hearts turned again to pride, and pride became their new god. God says, they said to one another, come, let us build a city. Let us make a tower that reaches heaven. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered across the earth. God says, they forgot who gave them breath. They forgot who set the stars above. They forgot who calmed the waters of judgment. And they built a monument to their own glory. God says, from the plains of Shinar, their hammers rose. Stone upon stone, they lifted their pride to the skies. But I saw their hearts. They sought not unity, but rebellion. Not worship, but defiance. God says, "Then I came down to see the city and the tower. I saw what men could do when their pride is won. And I said, nothing will be restrained from them. If they imagine rebellion, they will build rebellion." God says, "So I confused their language. One spoke and another could not understand. The unity of pride turned into chaos. The tower trembled. The city fell into silence. And from that day they called it Babel. For there I confounded the language of men." God says, "I scattered them across the face of the earth. Nations were born from confusion, tongues from pride, boundaries from rebellion. But my plan was never broken." God says, "For though men built towers of pride, I was building a kingdom of faith. Though they made names for themselves, I prepared a name above every name." God says, "The tower of men fell, but the word of God endures. Human pride collapses, but divine purpose stands." God says, "And in the days to come, I would call forth another man, a man named Abram, through whom I would begin again." God says, "For the story of man may fall, but the story of God never ends."